Your dog locked eyes with you after breaching social protocol. Then it triggered a sequence so deliberate that most humans fail to recognize the hidden code. By the end of this journey, you will see the biological genius behind that gaze. Step inside the canine mind. If you want to decrypt the survival strategies running inside their brains, hit subscribe. You and I are about to uncover nature's most successful social hack. We assume they are apologizing with a tucked tail or a guilty glance. Those signals are real, but they are just the surface of a deep evolutionary script. In reality, dogs run a hidden reconciliation program, a toolkit of behaviors evolved to patch social fractures. And the unsettling truth? Most people ignore these signals entirely, or even worse, they penalize their dogs for executing their most vital survival code. You and I are going to decode the specific biological signals your dog uses whenever the social bond starts to fracture. I have saved the most sophisticated evolutionary hack for the very end. An act that mimics defiance, but serves as their ultimate social repair mechanism. Watch closely. First, they deploy the shrinking protocol, making their physical presence vanish. Have you ever raised your voice and watched them immediately execute a total body collapse? Cranium lowered, ears pinned, the entire organism melting into the hardwood. We mistakenly label this biological reaction as guilt. Researchers spent decades debating if this animal even processes a human sense of shame. The data they uncovered is far more fascinating than simple regret, and it is the foundation of your entire bond. When that body drops after a fight, it is not just a feeling. It is a calculated social strategy, a biological maneuver, hardwired into their neural pathways through 10,000 years of pack survival. Wolves use this exact same code to deactivate aggression within the hunting party. Biologists call it a submissive display, designed to transmit a single vital command. I am zero threat. Reinitialize the social bond immediately. This is where the evolutionary brilliance becomes clear. These are not small, helpless organisms. Even a mid-sized canine possesses the weaponry to end a conflict with violence. The fact that your dog chooses total vulnerability instead of tooth and claw reveals the extreme value their programming places on the human connection. They choose social harmony over individual survival. Data from the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science confirm that dogs displaying these submissive hacks experience a massive surge of oxytocin, the chemical glue of the pack, in those critical seconds. The brain is not merely attempting to stop the yelling. It is running a recovery script to rebuild the link. And here is where the human operator makes a critical error. You are extending the state of high cortisol that their biological system is desperate to flush. You are blocking the reconciliation protocol before it can fully execute. The solution? Mirror their code. Lower your center. Angle your body away. Let your physical geometry communicate what human words simply cannot. Signal received. The pack is secure once more. This biological shift slashes recovery time in half, building a canine who knows that repairing a bond is possible. Recovery is only the beginning. The next signal manifests right at the edge of that release. Most owners misread the science, assuming the animal is just being weird or hyperactive. Watch closely. Number 2. They erupt into a frantic, full-body wiggle the moment the tension snaps. You have witnessed it. The silence after a scolding, followed by a sudden canine eruption. Tail spinning, their entire rear end wagging in a blur. They might even yelp, bouncing toward you as if an internal pressure valve just shattered. But this reaction is not about the dog forgetting the fight. This is relief made physical. You see, canine minds do not track time like ours. They inhabit raw emotional states rather than complex narratives. They experience the shift within their entire nervous system at once. That explosion is the evolutionary hack, a purging of the cortisol and adrenaline that flooded their system. Researchers studying canine stress have identified this as a displacement burst. It is a common result of high-tension social clashes. It looks chaotic or joyful, but it is actually a vital neurological reset. The brain and body are literally shaking off stress chemicals to return to baseline. The fact they rush toward you instead of fleeing is the evolutionary detail most people miss. They are not just dumping stress, they are releasing it directly toward you. They are designating you as the anchor point for their survival recovery. That wiggling, bouncing, spinning mess of an animal is signaling a truth. You are still my safe zone, even after the conflict. And if you have ever felt your own heart soften in that precise second, that shift from frustration to empathy is not a sign of emotional weakness. That is your own oxytocin responding to a masterfully evolved social repair signal. Ancient biology is communicating directly with your own human instincts. But here is what we must remember before we uncover the rest. We have only reached number 2. The codes become more subtle and shocking. My next revelation looks nothing like a typical apology. In fact, it might look like your dog is completely ignoring you. And it may be the most sophisticated emotional behavior a dog can ever show. Do not look away. Number 3, they retrieve an object for you from across the room. Imagine this scene. You have just reprimanded your dog for chewing something off limits. The air is heavy with tension as you walk away. A minute passes, then you feel a soft nudge against your hand. You look down. Your dog is standing there, a toy held gently in their mouth. A slow, uncertain wag of the tail as their eyes search yours. Most owners just throw the toy, assuming the animal simply wants to play. Many ignore it. But what if this quiet, uncertain offering was actually something more? What if it is the most emotionally charged act your dog has ever performed? Dogs are not natural gift givers by instinct, like some other animal species. When a canine retrieves an item for a specific person after a period of conflict, behavioral researchers classify this specific move as a strategic appeasement object transfer. We first coded this into the blood of wolves, where lower members offer gifts to their alphas, a primal peace offering designed to mend the social fabric. Your companion isn't just playing, this goes deeper. They are surrendering something of worth, a token of their own safety, a piece of their world that spells comfort, and they are placing it in your palms as the ultimate submission. Consider the cost. Nature built them to be possessive, to hoard resources, to willingly yield an asset to the one who caused their fear in a moment of vulnerability. That is not nothing. That is a silent, calculated sacrifice to bridge the gap between species. But there is a hidden layer you have likely overlooked. The repetition is intentional, the same object every time. That worn rope, that tattered toy, the same ball. Observe closely. You will see that your dog has a chosen anchor, an object they cling to whenever the bond between you feels fractured. They offer you their own sanctuary, hoping it heals you too. Next time it happens, do not cast it away. Do not look away. Take the gift, hold it, see them. No words needed. That simple acknowledgement confirms the hack worked. 4. The tongue follows, tracing your skin without warning. Just as the tension peaks, the licking begins. Wrists, chin, nose, a frantic search for peace. You call it affection, you call it cute. But beneath that surface lies a far older biological mechanism at work. Look at the wild, the wolf, the feral pack. Licking the alpha's muzzle is the code for total appeasement. It is deployed precisely when the social order is threatened, to force a return to the safety of the status quo. This is not random, it is a targeted strike. When it happens unasked, in the wake of a fight, with no reward in sight, no command given, the truth is clear. They are rewriting the moment. But here is the real power behind the hack. This social licking triggers a flood of endorphins, transforming an apology into a chemical high within their own nervous system. Survival is literally rewarding for them. Their biology is hardwired to crave this restoration. And nature isn't finished. When they lick you, both your heart rates begin to synchronize and slow. One ritual, two nervous systems calmed as one. It is not a quirk. It is the design working perfectly. Most owners fail right here by pulling away or telling the dog to stop. I get it. The licking can be too much. The timing feels wrong. But when your dog reaches for you after conflict, specifically with their tongue, it is not neediness. It is one of the oldest repair rituals in evolution. Let it land. Let the meaning settle in. We are halfway there. You and I are about to discover two shocking signals. One involves your dog acting like they have completely checked out on you. And the other is the specific warning I gave you at the start. The gesture that looks like defiance, but is actually their deepest possible apology. Almost there. Number 5. They drop onto their back and go perfectly still. You just corrected them firmly. Maybe you even raised your voice. Maybe you physically pushed them away. And then it happens. They hit the floor and roll right onto their back. Belly up, paws in the air, motionless. You wonder, are they just playing? Is this just drama? Do they simply not care? They care, far more than you could possibly realize. What they are doing right now is the most vulnerable act possible. A dog's abdomen is their most exposed and unprotected soft spot. Every vital organ sits right beneath that thin layer of skin. Facing a real threat, a predator, or an unstable situation, no dog would ever willingly show their belly. To do that is to surrender every single line of defense they have. When your dog rolls over after a conflict, they are not playing. This isn't manipulation. It is what experts call a passive submission display. And it is the canine equivalent of a complete, total surrender. That level of trust in that moment is everything. Here is the mistake that ruins it. Owners see the belly and grab for a rub. The dog tenses up. They might kick their legs or wiggle away. And you walk away confused, perhaps even feeling slightly annoyed. Thinking the dog invited touch, but then suddenly rejected it. But they never invited touch. They were inviting understanding. The belly display is not a request for affection. It is a white flag. What your dog needs right then is not a belly rub. They need a soft voice, relaxed posture, maybe a crouch to their level, and a clear signal that you have heard what they are saying. Reach too soon, and you have just poisoned their most vulnerable moment into a reason for them to hide their vulnerability next time. That is a lesson a dog will not forget easily. Honor that white flag with stillness, softness, and total acknowledgement. And you will build a dog who runs to you first when things go wrong. Number 6. They follow you in total silence and simply exist in your space. This is the secret I have been keeping from you. And I want you to truly sit with this one, because it is incredibly easy to miss. Once you and I see it, we can never unsee it. After a clash, your dog stays silent. No barking, no whining, no desperate pawing at your leg. No toys are offered. They just exist nearby. When you walk into the kitchen, there they are, guarding the doorway. You move to the sofa, they hit the floor. 3 feet away. You head to the bedroom and they shadow you, settling quietly at your feet. No demands are made. This is not a performance for your attention. They are simply there. Most of us assume one of two possible things. Either the animal has forgotten the fight, or they are just sulking in silence. Both are wrong. Dogs are never truly solitary animals. Their entire mental architecture is hardwired for the survival of the group. If a dog truly wanted space or felt completely disinterested in you, they would just leave. They would walk away, turning their back on the room. They would sleep elsewhere. But when they shadow you in silence after a class, they are doing the exact opposite. They are making a calculated choice to stay in your orbit, even if they aren't ready to touch you yet. Scientists have a specific name for this clever survival mechanism. It is called proximity maintenance. We see it in wolves and great apes, and even elephants after a rupture occurs within the family unit. It is a primal repair strategy, an ancient hack for maintaining social bonds. It is hardwired into social mammals, and your dog does it instinctively. Without a single sound or physical gesture, your dog is sending a clear signal. I will not push you. I will not force us to fix this right now. But I am not leaving. I will stay here, right by your side, until the air clears between us. Take a moment to really consider that. A creature with the power to leave, who understands nothing of human obligation or societal expectations. A being that, if they truly desired it, could sleep in another room and feel perfectly fine without your presence, chooses instead to follow you through the house in total silence, because the distance between you feels inherently wrong to them. That is not an animal forgetting. That is not a dog who lacks empathy. That is a creature mourning a broken connection and doing the one thing they know how to do. They stay close and wait for you to come back. If you have ever faced a dark moment with someone you love, a heavy, silent, unresolved moment, and they stayed, they just remained near you, quiet and present without ego, you know the true power of that gesture. Your dog has been using this strategy for you all along. Here is the ultimate strategic hack you and I must understand today. Your dog is not a simple machine. They are not creatures living solely in the present, with no memory of the tension shared between you. They monitor the emotional climate of your bond every single second. They sense when the connection cools, and they have a toolkit for it. Social maneuvers that demand an emotional cost, specifically designed to repair the damage. When they make themselves appear small, they are sacrificing their pride to safeguard the relationship. When they erupt with joy the moment the tension finally breaks, they are confirming that you are their ultimate safe harbor. When they offer up their favorite toy, they are handing over the most valuable prize in their world. That lick is not just affection, it is an ancient peace offering written into their genetic code. Baring their throat and belly is a radical act of biological surrender to you. And when they shadow your every step in that heavy, unbreakable silence, they are performing a miracle of loyalty rarely found in the natural world. They are deciding to remain. Next time your companion reaches out to you after a moment of heavy relational tension, you and I must pause. Do not dismiss it. Do not turn away. Witness this. This is more than just a simple canine apology. Their survival instinct is proving that your bond is worth more than their pride. That is not just behavior. That is the hack. If we have shifted your perspective today, share this with a fellow dog lover now. Subscribe to Canine Mind as we decode the secret biological language of man's best friend. Evolution demands that we finally learn how to listen back. I will see you in the next one.